homeschool friends, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a stack of books. A stack of books I have put together for myself, for my reading, in order to grow. To grow as a person, to grow as a homeschool mom, as a mom, to just have wonderful resources to learn. And I guess I would call these like personal development books, because I do strongly believe that if I am constantly educating myself, I will grow and become a better homeschooler. I will grow and become a better mom. Like, I just feel like books are so powerful. I've always been a big proponent of books. And so I used to make a, what did I call it? Mother's Morning Basket. It's the same idea. I just made those seasonally, and I kind of fell off that because it was taking me too long to read all the books. So what I'm doing is I'm creating kind of a yearly stack. And that is what I'm sharing with you in today's video. Now, I do want to make a quick shout out to Arlene from Arlene and Company, because she recently made a video like this, and it inspired me to kind of collect and officially make my list and my stack to share with you in today's video. So stay tuned so we can chat through all of the books. There's a good little stack here. There's a good stack. So hi, my name is Angie. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back, all the things. So like I said, we're talking kind of personal development books. So when I say that, I mean kind of like child development books, as well as like spiritual growth books and homeschool encouragement books, kind of the gamut of books that just kind of feed me. They feed my soul, right? They really encourage me so that I can pour out to my kids and all the people kind of in my life. And so let's just hop in. Let's hop in to the first one that I'm actually in the middle of reading. And I'm really excited to have finally picked this up, because I have heard amazing things about it. I've heard amazing things about Elizabeth Elliot in general. So this is called Being Elizabeth Elliot. So this is a biography written by Ellen Vaughn. And so you guys, I'm like 8 chapters in. I'm really enjoying just her story. Like, I mean, I knew the basics of Elizabeth Elliot's story. I knew that she had a husband. They went to Ecuador. He was murdered by the tribes, but she stuck around with her young daughter and shared Jesus. So there is just so much there, right? I feel like there's so much to be encouraged by her person, her character, her faith, all those things. Like, I have never personally been drawn to the missions field. So for me, I'm not reading it for that. I'm reading it just because I am in awe of her faith and just her way of thinking. And as I've been reading, I've been realizing that she just was a person who pushed back against the norms a bit, like against kind of what was expected from the Christian culture in that day. Like, she would go around to these churches and speak, and she would just kind of find it very flat, and nobody was asking the interesting or hard questions. Nobody was pushing on different things, and she was just discouraged by that. And then she would kind of find her people and find that. But I am really enjoying kind of her view of the world. I'm enjoying her struggles, and I'm enjoying the fact that she's not lily white. She's made hard choices, and sometimes maybe questionable choices, and all of this stuff, right? She's a real person, and I feel like that's why I like to read biographies. I am reminded that we all are real people with many layers and a lot of depth, and we can encourage each other and really find our inner strength through stuff like that. So Being Elizabeth Elliot, I'm currently reading and I'm really liking. And another one I have picked up, because I picked up a number of books used, just, you know, trying to save some money, because a lot of these I couldn't find at the library. I tried, but this one is Deconstructing Penguins, Parents, Kids, and the Bond of Reading. So this book is about reading aloud and the value of reading. And it's like, this is not a new concept for me. I feel like I know that, but I like kind of reading stuff like this, because I feel like whenever I do, I find little gems, right? Yes, I am a huge proponent of reading aloud. I mean, our homeschool is literature based, but I feel like I can learn so much from books like this. And this is the first quote on here. It says, "Books are like puzzles. The author's ideas are hidden, and it's up to us to figure them out." So what it feels like to me is help with a little bit of literary analysis, which we're starting to kind of tiptoe our way into a little bit. I expect more in-depth analysis in high school and stuff, and I'm gonna have a 5th grader this upcoming fall. So we're not there, but I feel like it's a good time to learn it. I should learn it now instead of in 4 years when my child is entering high school 4 years. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's one book I have that is on my stack. Another two books I have, I'm going to talk about them together because I feel like they go together. But they're these books. So this is Raising Emotionally Strong Boys, Tools Your Son Can Build for Life. This is written by David Thomas with a foreword by Sissy Goff, which goes with this book. That's why I feel like these are a little bit tied, but I've heard really good things about this, and I feel like just in this current day and age and just political climate and all the things, to have some more tools on how to kind of help my boys, since I am not a boy. You know, it's like I just know that they think differently, and sometimes for me as a female, I'm like, how? What are some of the differences? What are the things that I can encourage, or what are the things that maybe my tendencies are not helping? Like, I have read a recent book. It's called Strong Mothers, Strong Sons, or something like that. I really liked it. It talked a lot about the mother-son bond. This isn't necessarily about mothers and sons. This is just about raising emotionally strong boys. And so I really like that. And as well as this one, which talks about raising worry-free girls, helping your daughters feel braver, stronger, and smarter in an anxious world. Oh, this looks so good. And this is by Sissy Goff. And so I feel like a similar vein. I'm growing up in a different time frame than my daughter. I mean, I have 3 sons and a daughter, but then my daughter, and there's some things that I didn't have to deal with growing up in the 80s and 90s that she'll just have to deal with in a different way. And so I can be more prepared and thoughtful if I read books like this. Now, there's another book that I have requested from the library. I'm literally number 236 on the list. It's called The Anxious Generation: How the Great Rewiring of Childhood is Causing an Epidemic of Mental Illness. I'll pop it up here. That's another one I'm super interested in, just because it's like the idea of we're raising kids in this just tech heavy world, and it's resulting in more and different mental health issues than maybe previous generations, and understanding how best to help them. So that's another one that's on my list, but obviously might not get a copy of that for like 6 to 9 months or something. So all of those kind of go hand in hand with just the idea of emotional intelligence. And I feel like I need some of that, but I also want to be able to parent that well, or parent that thoughtfully. So those are some things as well. And then I have this book. So I picked up this book. This is called Mind in the Making: The 7 Essential Life Skills Every Child Needs. Now, I tuned into that idea of life skills, and I like that. I feel like as a homeschool parent, I have a unique ability, and not unique. I feel like your kids can go to school and you can still do these things, very much so. But I feel like there's just more involvement since I have them in the house, and the idea of what are some life skills that we should have, you know? And it's like, I know some of the obvious ones, and we work on this. Some of this stuff is just being done naturally, but I feel like these are kinds of books that I am gravitating towards, that I'm really, really interested in. And I think this was from Arlene's list as well as this. So she really did encourage and inspire me to pick up a couple of books. So this one is The Power of the Adolescent Brain: Strategies for Teaching Middle and High School Students. This is by Thomas Armstrong. Now, what drew me to this book is like that idea of middle schoolers, of kind of what's coming. I mean, I hear a lot of things about kind of those preteen, teen years. They're just different. It's like you go from these more compliant, quote unquote, elementary kids, or excitable elementary kids, to potentially not so much, or they're just driven in different ways, and how to tap into that, how to just really have knowledge about that, about what kind of drives this age. And I'm psyched. I'm psyched to read this. This one, I'm excited. I feel like it's not as necessary right now. Like I said, my oldest is a 5th grader, but we're coming on this stuff. And so I want some more knowledge. I want to grow in that. And then the last book I have that I love perusing. I often pick it up during the summer, and that is The Brave Learner: Finding Everyday Magic in Homeschool Learning and Life by Julie Bogart. I'm a huge Julie Bogart fan. I find her words and her outlook on homeschooling and life and parenting to be really refreshing. Now, I don't always agree, or I don't swing quite as far as she does at all times, but I find her words very encouraging, and I find her idea of fun, an idea of just like making things magical, to really resonate with me. Now, it can sometimes lead me to stress, and if I get to that point, I put ideas like this down But if I'm not feeling that way, this can be such a good resource. And so I pick this up most summers and kind of reread it or relook through it or pick a chapter, you know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like this is just such a good stack. Some good, just kind of deeper faith issues with just reading the Elizabeth Elliot, some like emotional intelligence books, some just like more homeschooling type books, some like life skills and basic parenting type books. So yes, this is my current stack. I feel like I will probably add to it as we go, but what I like to do, because like I've mentioned a lot on here, I do have a book channel and I love reading, and that's mostly fiction books. I love reading fiction books. It's a hobby of mine. And so I do have a lot of books and I have a lot of bookshelf space. I will put this in a specific spot. What helps me with stacks like this is I stack them together and then I can see the progress I'm making on them. So I'm gonna find a perfect spot on my bookshelf for my little personal development stack here that will help me grow in so many different ways that I feel like I could grow, that I have gaps and some need of some education. So I hope this inspired you to potentially put together your own list, but please, please, please give me some recommendations down below. You kind of see what I'm looking for. I would love recommendations. Even if you think I've read it, it doesn't matter. Put it down below. We can start a big conversation on books such as this, books where we can grow collectively. So I hope you enjoyed my stack. And if you reach the end of this video and you don't really have anything to say, but you want to let me know you were here, because I love knowing you guys are here and listening to the content and hopefully feeling inspired and encouraged. But if you have nothing to say, that's totally fine. How about put an emoji? Let's do a penguin. I think there's penguins in the emojis, just to shout out this book, Deconstructing Penguins. So include that if you'd like. Otherwise, please let me know some good resources. So that's what I have, you guys. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys in the next homeschool video. All right, guys, take care.